Let's manifest some money. And my first tip is to give this video a like and show the universe that you are opening yourself up to receiving abundance. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Makayla. I post a ton of spiritual content on this channel. I'll link the full playlist down below. And I talk about manifesting, manifestation, different ways to manifest, the life of your dreams in a ton of different videos. So I will link that playlist. We've got a manifesting 101 video on like the beginners basics of manifesting. I also have a video on how to manifest someone back into your life that you are in separation with, whether that's a relationship, friend, family member, anyone in separation. And today we are going to be talking about ways to manifest money, financial wealth, and abundance into your life. Now, I know that it takes a lot more than just spirituality and manifesting and the mindset of earning money. However, I do think this plays a really big part in it. And these last couple of years throughout my 20s, I went from being a very broke college grad, a lot of student loans, to eventually living the life of my dreams and finding the abundance along the way. If you got it, monetize it. I truly do believe that if there is something you are good at, there is a way to monetize that and make it a skill that you're able to profit from. That has been my mantra that I kind of came up with back in 2020. If you got it, monetize it. And I do firmly live by that. Oh, time to be real. Okay, that being said, I am going to be focusing on more of the spiritual ways to manifest wealth into your life. However, I do have a more practical, physical video on how to earn more money. I'll link that down below as well. It's basically on how I went from being broke to earning 6 figures in a year, and that has more of like the physical things to do to increase your income. I do cover a little bit of manifestation in that video, and today we're going to expand on that and talk about how to open yourself up to receive abundance in your life. Before we get started, please subscribe to this channel. I have a ton of spiritual manifestation, crystal shopping, vlogs, whatever it is on this platform. It would mean the world if you would hit subscribe, and then follow my Instagram. I share a lot on my story on there as well in terms of spirituality, different rituals to do for different types of moons and full moons, manifesting, all of that. But with all of that being said, let's get started. Like I mentioned earlier, these tips are going to be mostly spiritual that help increase your income, but I do have more tips on how to increase your income and earn more in my finance playlist. I will link that down below. But all I ask is that if you keep watching, to have an open mind, and hey, go ahead and try one of these tips or two, because you never know. Genuinely, you have nothing to lose. Are you helping? Got my lucky black cat. I also thought green would be super fitting for this video, which is why I'm in green, which is another, I guess, technique to attract abundance into your life, but you gotta align on the same frequency, right? So the first thing to mention here is that mindset is absolutely everything. It's cheesy to say, but sometimes we really are the ones holding ourselves back. It's super important that you open yourself up to receive. You need to be on the same wavelength as currency and money, otherwise you're just blocking yourself from it. So I talk more about this in my other manifestation video on kind of like manifesting as a whole, so I won't repeat too much of it here. However, it's super important to be on the same wavelength as what it is that you are trying to manifest, because if you're not on the same energetic plane and you don't align your every single day activities or mindset with what it is that you're wanting, you're never going to get it. You really do have to believe that it's possible and open yourself up to it. If you walk around every single day thinking that, you know, I'm never going to earn $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, or I'll never get this bonus or this raise, I'm never gonna win, you never will. But if you firmly believe it and know that it's possible and you are capable, and you know that someday you will own a business, or someday you're going to sell out of all your sales, or someday you're going to earn 10K a month, it's going to happen because you're aligning your frequency with the frequency of the life that you want to achieve. And the universe wants to give you what you want, as long as it's not harmful. Sometimes the universe does protect you, and it might not give you what you're trying to manifest out of protection, but for the most part, if you put it out there and you're manifesting, the universe, higher power, whatever you believe in, it wants to give you what you want. I kind of already said number 2, but number 2 on my list is you need to truly believe that you will achieve the wealth. You will earn what you will earn. I did already explain that too soon, but that was my second tip, is that you have to truly believe. I know that could sound a little fantasy filled, you know, like make-believe, but it's really true, because if you don't believe in yourself, then like you're holding yourself back, and the power of positive thinking is insanely powerful. That was such a redundant sentence. Okay, this third tip is so crucial, and this is truly what changed the game. I went from like 0 to 100 with this next tip when I first did it, and I've talked about it in other videos, but it is so important to mention here again. That is to write out a letter to money. I got this idea from the book How to Be a Badass, and as soon as I did this, my income increased by a ton. In the book, You Are a Badass, Jen Sincero mentions how if you have a bad relationship with money, it might not grant you with blessings. However, the people that have good relationships with money and respect it and see money as a joy and a good thing, money flows to them. But if you see money as negative or toxic, or wealth as being this like bad classist act, the finances aren't going to come to you. So it's really important to kind of just write out a letter to money. I did read the full letter that I wrote to money in my video on how I went from broke to earning 6 figures. So I'll link that above and down below if you want to hear the full letter that I wrote. But basically, some tips that I would include is to establish your relationship with money in the letter. Speak to money literally as if it's a person that you're writing a letter to. Talk about how you viewed money growing up. Maybe money was very scarce and you were scared of it, or you were always worried that you wouldn't have enough, or maybe you viewed it as this negative thing because one of your parents or guardians abused it, or had a shopping problem, or never gave you the needs that you needed as a child. Or maybe your parent saw money as something negative, and you saw, you know, money tear families apart. Like, there are so many things. It's very therapeutic, but there are so many things that could be affecting your relationship with money today. I talk in my letter about how, you know I can establish a really good relationship with money, and I want to trust money, and I totally believe that the money will provide and it will show up when needed. You want to share your goals with money and say, like, I want to earn exactly this much per month. And back in 2020, when I wrote my first letter to money, I wrote in there, and part of me was like, this sounds so unattainable now, but I believe in it. I wrote in there, I want to earn $5,000 a month. This was right after college. I was serving. $5,000 in 2020 is different than it is today, but I remember being like, I don't know if I can do that. And it wasn't that long before I was earning $30,000 a month, and it just blows my mind how expansive that became. But write out how much you want to earn. Talk about your relationship with money, to money in the letter. It's important to tell money that you trust it. It's great to see where that letter can lead to, because things that I wrote in those letters I wasn't expecting to when I sat down, but the process of writing helped kind of flow it out, if that makes sense. And then keep that letter close to you. Read it out loud, place it underneath your pillow, keep it near to you, read it back. And let's say you wrote a letter to money a few years ago, but things have changed. Perhaps, you know, your job shifted, you have new goals now, revamp, you can write a new letter. I recently wrote a new letter to money at the start of 2023 with kind of my new relationship to money, and how, you know, blessed I am and thankful for all that it's done for me, and how, you know, I want to keep these good vibes going, basically, and my financial goals for this year and how I hope to achieve them with the help of money, and really just aligning yourself on the same frequency, because currency is a frequency, and frequency is energy, and energy exists and can be manifested. I hope that made sense. The battery died, but the next thing on my list is to incorporate these money goals from that letter to money into your monthly manifestation goals. So if you have seen my other videos on this topic, you know that I write out a letter to the moon and universe every single new moon, and you can use the cycle of the moon to track trends and manifestations. A new moon always brings a fresh start, so it's a really great time to manifest and write out a letter to the moon asking, you know, for certain things that month in terms of manifestation and blessings from the universe. Sometimes your financial goals can seem so big and large in these letters to money, so it's helpful to break them down into smaller manifestations that are quicker to attain. So when I write my letter to the moon and universe every single month, I will always ask for financial blessings that month, and the most random ways money will show up into my life that month. That was a hard sentence to put together, but money will show up into my life in the most random ways after I ask the universe for financial blessings. I mean, even today, I got an email from this brand for a potential second collaboration, and I remembered I had an affiliate link with them like years ago. So I was like, I wonder if that ever did anything because I never really checked on it. I opened up the affiliate link portal and I have a couple $100 in there that has been sitting in there for years, and I just never even knew. They never did a payout. I took a screenshot, sent it to the company, and they sent over an email saying that they were so sorry that, you know, they let that slide, but they're going to send over a PayPal of that immediately. So technically, I guess I earned that a few years ago and I just never received it, but that was a way that financial luck and blessings were brought into my life this month. You'll find a random wad of cash on the ground. One time in my earlier 20s, I remember I got a letter from the IRS literally saying that like 2 years prior, I paid too much in my taxes and they gave me a check. Like, the universe will find different ways to bring money into your life. As long as you're open to receiving that and asking for blessings, the blessings will show up. It's crazy. Or I will suddenly sell a large piece of furniture on Facebook Marketplace that has been sitting on my Facebook for months. I don't know. There are so many other times where I'm like, this is such a great blessing from the universe, and I always say thank you. So at the start of a new moon, afterwards, when you're writing out a new manifestation letter, say thank you for the month before, thank you for anything, you know, thank you for this like bonus check or my raise, thank you for more clients this month. However you were financially like blessed that month, remember to say thank you. But yeah, I think if you're struggling with what to manifest specifically, a really good way of asking monthly in your letter to the moon or the universe is simply for financial blessings and to show that you are open to them. Oh, again, I already said the next tip on my list without realizing it. Number 6, say thank you to money when it enters your life. Well, I guess that goes beyond what I said about saying thank you to the universe, but whenever I find coins on the ground, I always say thank you. However money enters your life, just say thank you to it for showing up. Because like I said earlier, currency is a frequency, meaning currency is energy. Sometimes, you know, with energy, you have to keep the momentum moving in order to keep that like energy flowing or going, or like that friction of it. So in certain terms, this can sort of mean you have to spend money to make money. Not in the way of like irresponsibly spending a lot of money and just assuming that like it'll come back to you, but you know, like when a car in front of you pays for your order in a drive-through, like that's a way of money kind of coming back to you when you're spending it. I can't remember exactly how the story went, but I do have this one friend who recently shared on a private Instagram story about how she like gave someone that needed it like $20 to cover something, and then later that day somebody gave her like just the right amount for what she needed for school or something like that. But it's basically the belief that if you spend money, it'll come back to you like a boomerang or like karma in a way. So on a small, responsible, kind amount, you gotta spend money to make money sometimes. I thought she was in frame this whole time, but I wish you could see. I have a sleeping Marnie curled up next to me. She does not like that I'm touching her feet right now. Okay, I want Marnie to be in frame. I find pennies on the ground all the time. And even if it's a few cents, I'm always so excited and announce how I'm a penny richer than I was before. And that's the type of mindset to have in terms of finance, because some people, I mean, even with, I do OnlyFans, I guess, if you don't watch my other content, but even with OnlyFans, sometimes I'll talk to girls on the platform that complain because they only make a couple $1,000s a month. However, you should be so grateful that you are making a couple thousand, hundreds, or even just $10 a month, because it's $10 more than you had before. And I think that's the mindset that really allows the universe to bring abundance into your life, because you are accepting and opening yourself up to the abundance. Okay, this next tip on my list is to set up an offering in your home that allows money to flow into your life. So for me personally, right as you walk through my front door, on that console, that entry console behind me, I do have a small Buddha that has cash underneath him as a way to keep money flowing in this home. The Buddha also protects the cash and opens my home up for abundance. The $20 placed on the Buddha is a symbol to keep finances flowing and allow abundance into my life, but it doesn't have to be that extravagant. It just needs to be something that you see as sacred, that opens yourself up to abundance in your home. Whether it is a small Buddha or a cross or a crystal. I'll talk more about different types of crystals that help with attracting financial abundance into your home, but some people will take a small jar and then place any cash or coins that they have into this jar as a symbol of money coming into your life and keeping the jar somewhere in your home that has like a lot of airflow for energy flowing, whether that's by the entry of your home or up in your bedroom or somewhere safe, or maybe like on some sort of console like an altar. Not only is it like a coin jar, I guess, but it's like a sacred one that signifies much more than that. But yeah, giving yourself kind of like the sacred place to really attract finances like that. I recommend keeping like a $20 bill somewhere special to you as just like a symbol of money coming into your life. There's a lot of freedom with this, and don't worry about doing something right or wrong, because there really is no right or wrong way with this one. As long as it's special and important to you and works, there's like a lot of freedom when it comes to this. Going off of that, the next one on my list is to carry out the belief every day that everything is going to be okay in the end, and that the universe will always provide. Money can be a very stressful subject to people, especially if you are in a position where you're not making enough to get needs met, or, you know, afraid of losing the home or not being able to provide. It can be a super stressful situation, and I've definitely been there as a child when I was so out of control with my situation, and it can make you really afraid of money. It can make you really afraid of losing money or seeing money more as this negative thing. But throughout it all, it's so important to have the belief that the universe will provide and everything's going to work out, and you know, somehow it always does. The last tip on my list is to take risks. You asked the universe for money, now act on it. Post that listing to Facebook Marketplace, open that Etsy shop, apply for that job, or inquire about the raise that you want and know you deserve. Post that video on TikTok or YouTube, reach out to that brand you'd love to work with. Whatever it is, you have now aligned your mindset to achieve it. So now it's time to physically align as well, and this is how you get on that same wavelength of what you want. So a big example of this, you know, you can wish for something all you want, but if you're not actively doing anything to help get there, the universe can only do so much. A big example for me is that this year I really would love to be published again as a writer. I haven't submitted writing in years, but as a teenager and in my young 20s, I would submit to these publications and get published. It's part of me that I kind of let go these last few years, and I would love to get back into it. So something that I manifested this year is to be published. However, if I don't submit any new writing, I'm not going to be published. So now it's the time to act on these things, and I need to physically write. I need to physically submit publications and then continue to manifest and put it out there into the universe. But now that you've aligned your energy and fully believe it's possible, and have written out a letter to money and have manifested on this new moon, it's time to take that risk responsibly and put yourself out there in whatever way you see fit and see what happens. You never know. I also want to bring up a couple of books and types of crystals that have helped me. So crystals, there are so many crystals that can help bring abundance and financial wealth into your life. Of course, the biggest crystal that I recommend would be pyrite, fool's gold. I find these to be really lucky. I keep one in my living room, in my office, and I have more upstairs. They're fairly cheap too, so do not get ripped off and spend a lot at a crystal shop when you can find them for cheaper on Etsy, or just at a better crystal shop that doesn't upsell their stones. I remember when my partner Ashton opened up his tattoo studio, I gave him a really big piece of pyrite for good luck in his new business, and they make great gifts as well for someone starting like a new job or whatever. Pyrite would be my number one. Some other great stones: green jade, citrine, tiger's eye is a really lucky stone, and luck often brings in financial luck. So carry these stones around with you, keep them in your pocket, near you, by your bed, living room, car even. Jade is extremely lucky, so there are tons of stones. Even clear quartz is great because it just cleanses anything that removes negative energy. But those are some really good stones. If you're looking for types of crystals, you can get one as like a necklace, bracelet, rings. I've got literally a ton of crystal rings in front of me. I also wanted to mention some books that really helped bring more financial abundance into my life, starting with the classic that I've mentioned for years on this channel, even earlier in this video, You Are a Badass. I think she talks so much about how to earn more money, and this is where, like I said, I got the idea to write a letter to money. Literally, it opened up to the chapter all about money. Money, your new best friend. And that's, you want to view money that way. I wonder if I underlined anything important, because I did really annotate this book. Yep, money is currency and currency is energy. Our universe is abundant and everything you desire is here in this moment, waiting for you to shift your perception and your energy and receive it, money included. Money is energy like anything else, and when you're operating at a high frequency with no resistance to it and take right action, you can manifest the money you desire. What we're not taught is that we must also align our energy with the financial abundance we seek. In other words, act as if you're where you want to be. Don't hang out with sad snacks and people who whine about how broke they are. Set goals, demand of yourself that you become who you need to become to create the life that you desire. Yeah, I underlined a ton, but it was super, super helpful. I kind of want to reread this book. This is really, really helpful. Highly recommend reading. I'm gonna link all these books down below too, so it's easy to just add to your cart. Off of that, Jen Sincero also has You Are a Badass at Making Money, where she deep dives even more into, the financial frequency on how to attract financial wealth and abundance into your life. I have a lot of annotations in this book as well, but this was super helpful. If you think a thought, that thought already exists. If you have a desire to make $50,000, that money and the way for you to make it already exists. So true. This book was amazing. Honestly, buy both of these. Start with this one, read this one next. Two other books that really helped me with manifesting financial wealth and money and all of that is Gay Hendricks and Carol Klein's book, The 8 Secrets to Intentionally Change Your Fortune, Conscious Luck. This book is really easy to get through. I think I read it in a few days. It's kind of short, but it covers a lot of really good advice and tips and mantras that you can write out and say to help manifest money and good fortune into your life. So I highly recommend this book as well. I'm looking at the 8 secrets to change your fortune. And I think they take it chapter by chapter, but the 8 secrets are, I'll share them with you. Number 1, commit to be a very lucky person. Release your personal barriers to good fortune. Transform shame into a magnet for abundance. Have luck-worthy goals. Take bold action consistently. Find your lucky tribe. Learn to be at the right place at the right time, and practice radical gratitude and appreciation. They're kind of like all paraphrases of what I said earlier, but again, deep diving into chapters, super helpful. I really enjoyed that book. The last book that I read, which also was really, really helpful and life-changing, is The Magic of Manifesting Money. I really enjoyed this book. What's really nice about this one is there are prompts in here, and questions that you can fill out, so it's engaging, but again, super helpful. I underlined a ton of things. Oh, when the energy of something is increased, money flows toward the entity that worked to increase it. Focus on the energy you're putting out into the universe, and it will reward you with the necessary tools to continue doing what you're doing. I find this to be so true with like social media, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. If you gotta monetize it, if you're putting your energy towards something, energy is gonna flow more there and more is gonna come out of that, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'll link all the books down below, but I really hope that this video was helpful, and please comment down below if you have any other manifestation tips that you would suggest for manifesting and attracting financial abundance, wealth, and money into your life. Don't forget to check out my other videos on financial tips, whether it's manifestation or like less spiritual ways to help bring money into your life, down below in my money playlist. And please subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram. I share more in my Instagram stories as well. Marnie's making me want to take a cat nap on the couch with her. She's so cute. So I'm gonna cuddle my cats and have some time on the couch. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you real soon in my next video. Bye.